Hi Z-Health community, Dr. Cobb, Happy New Year. This is my first blog of 2015, and what I'm going to do is reference back to the letter I sent you on New Year's Eve. We've been getting a lot of emails about that. It's been kind of neat. Really good response rate so far. We've also gotten some questions. The first question and biggest question that keeps coming up is, hey, this is a really neat exercise that you sent us. Where did it come from? So what I'm going to do is talk about that quickly today and then encourage you to do the exercise if you haven't done it so far. And then talk a little bit about next steps going into the new year. The reason I wanted to focus on this for 2015 is that I am very convinced that about a saying, all right? And the saying is pretty simple. The saying is there's no such thing as free time, there's just time. And it's one of the things I think a lot about. You know, I have a lot of heroes in my life, people that I think that have created amazing things. And I always wake up wondering, how do they create all that they create in the same 24 hours a day that I have? So I wonder about that a lot. And one of the things I've learned is that it's the power of focus and intentionality toward using your time well that really makes a difference. And that's one of the reasons that this exercise that I gave you, I believe is so important going forward into the year. But let me now, like I said, talk about the origins of the exercise, because it's kind of neat. Like I said, I had that saying in my head for a long time. There's no such thing as free time or quality time or anything else. It's just time, and it depends on how you use it. But years ago, I heard a story, and the story was an older man mentoring a younger man. And it basically went something like this. He said, you know, my first 55 years of my life, I felt like I wasted them. I thought back, and I had all these weekends where I sat around, I drank beer, and I watched TV, and I didn't wake up until 11 o'clock. And he said, I had this sudden realization at 55 that a lot of my life had already gone away. And he said, so what I wanted to do was try and figure out a way to take advantage of the rest of my life. And he said, I looked at the statistics and the averages, and I knew that I maybe had 20 more years left, 20 more weekends particularly, 20 more Saturdays, or 20 more years of Saturdays. And so what he did is he said, I needed a reminder. So I went out and I bought a big jar, and I bought a marble for every Saturday for the next 20 years, 1,040 marbles. And what I would do is every Saturday I would come out and I would take a marble out of the jar, stick it in my pocket. I'd carry it around all day. And every time I felt that marble in my pocket, it would remind me to take advantage of the day that I had. And at the end of that Saturday, I'd throw it away. And he said it was kind of weird in the beginning because it didn't look like things were changing that much. But over the years, the marble depth in that jar kept going down and down and down and down. And as the story was told, supposedly, they were having this conversation after he had thrown away the last marble. And he was looking at the fact that his last 20 years were so different than his first 55. So when the first time I heard that story, I was really moved by it. I thought, hey, that's a really cool idea. And I decided to try it, and I failed miserably. And for some reason, like I said, I knew it was important, but I couldn't connect to it. And so one of the cool things that happened about a decade ago is I started looking into the science around behavioral change from a brain-based perspective, brain-based training. It really became evident that what was missing for me was that it was really cool to have that reminder that I wanted to take advantage of my life, but my habitual way of speaking to myself, my habitual way of asking questions really got in the way. Because my typical, response to time is, geez, why haven't I accomplished more? Rather than, why haven't I accomplished less? And so whenever you actually look at that, the exercise that I sent you, and you can follow the link that we're going to give you if you haven't read it yet, I'm going to really encourage you to take the 7 minutes out of your life and do the exercise. And keep it time limited. You can go for hours on this thing, but if you keep it time limited, it actually fits into your day. And one of the things I think will come out of it for you is, number one, a renewed decision to really take advantage of your time this year. And number two, a renewed confidence that you can. Because what happens is you start to see, wow, I'm the kind of person that's created the life that I have. These are the behaviors and these were the drivers. And with a lot of clarity, you can now decide if those are the things that are going to serve you going forward, or if you need to make some course corrections going into 2015. So that's the origin of the exercise. I hope that you've done it. If you haven't done it, please take the time. Like I said, it's set up to take you about 7 minutes. Go through it as a thinking exercise. And then the next steps that I recommended in the letter were, now that you have your ideas written, go back and revisit them every day. Jot down notes. You may want to do it every week. You may want to do it for a month. But as you go forward in the year, this little exercise that I gave you to start is worth revisiting, because I again, having looked at a lot of things in my own life over the years, this is one of the most powerful things that I've done regularly to help remind me to take advantage of the time that I've been given. So going into 2015, that's my hope for you. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. More importantly, if the exercise does something for you, if you have some feedback for me, I would love to hear from you. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of our life. Look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thanks.